Welcome back to another guide, everybody. JX here. Today we are going to take a look at Super Saiyan Blue Vegeta. Now, this event itself was released as filler content when it was released, so the difficulty for this isn't anything staggering, and the links needed for this fight are something called Connoisseur, and there's only 3 people in the current game who have that. It's Beerus, Whis, and Champa, and there's only one version of Champa in the game, and he's absolutely terrible. But for the specific version of Beerus that we're taking today, I'm using the Strength Beerus and the Farmable Agility Whisk that you can get through the current Heroes and Villains event that goes through a rotation on weekends. Lastly, I'm also taking the Physical Super Saiyan God Goku. He's a farmable event that comes around whenever the Battle of the Gods event drops. He's the weakest of the 4 current Super Saiyan gods in the game, but for the sake of adding a little bit of a challenge to this, I'm going to bring him along. And starting things off, Vegeta will be in his Int form, which ironically is what he will be in his final form. But as he's base Vegeta right now, he only has 2 bars of health. And bringing along Gotenks, the God, and Whis for our first turn, I don't see him really doing anything to hurt us here. Vegeta typically gets the shaft in this game at times. Up until his release of Super Saiyan 4, most versions of him aren't that great, if not subpar compared to every version of Goku in the game. And even this fight here, this was only released, I'd say, about 2 or 3 Dokkan Fests ago, and he's the demigod for an Int team. But in terms of difficulty of fighting him, he's got nothing on like the current Super Saiyan 4 releases, things like Cooler or like Merge Zamasu or Hero Trunks. He's just kind of like thrown in here, as I said at the start, for filler content. But as I do plan on making a video for every Dokkan Fest pretty much available, so no one can get stuck in any specific Dokkan Fest, no matter how easy or hard it is, I will go through this anyways. When setting up the team, actually, one thing I should mention is most of these teams are set since the current meta works around the idea of heroes, villains, and the 5 specific mono teams, being strength, agility, intellect, tech, and physical. I have this set up to where, as Vegeta is my lead, that means everybody on my team is going to be getting a bonus because they're all considered hero characters. And also, since this Vegeta specifically doesn't reduce damage done to him, like typical Dokkanfest fights. Another reason why Vegeta might have gotten shafted here a little bit in this fight. So everybody's doing normal damage. It's just the Connoisseur link allows you to do extra damage here. And my very own Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta here has a chance of stunning him, so if he stuns him, he won't even have a chance to attack us for the rest of the game anyways. Or the rest of this turn. And yep, he got stunned. You can actually see that on his character image up there, that yellow sparkle going off on his like character image flashing. That means that he's stunned for the turn active. So for this turn, I don't really have to set up anything. I just grab the key needed and we go to town. As you can see, Whis and Beerus here have the Connoisseur link active, so they should do extra damage. But as they're, well, Whis is more of the character he's on this team, or like the farmable reason why I have him, is when you're low health, this Whis will actually bring you back to full HP once per game. So he's kind of like a failsafe, but I don't really use him for anything. But the problem is for how strong the show makes Whis appear to be, all the cards in the current game available are terrible. There's an Int Whis that was released early on with the game, and at this point might as well just be considered, if not one of the worst cards in the game, out of the multiple hundreds of SSRs available. There's a Tech Whis that was released as well later. His only relevance is the fact that he has a chance of stunning, similar to like our Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta here. But this Vegeta also doubles as a tank, so he already has more use in that sense already. Lastly, we have the Agility Beerus. As I mentioned, he has the chance of healing you to full HP when you're low. And there's finally actually a 4th Whis, but he's an SR physical card who's probably worthless like all the other SRs, so he's not exactly worth mentioning. So until he actually gets a card that maybe might show off the strength of Whis, or like, the show trying to show you how strong Whis really is, he always has that like luminous flair to him, like, wow, he's so mysterious and powerful. This game does him no favors in that. At least Beerus himself has had a couple cards released to kind of show that, oh, this is the God of Destruction. Maybe we'll give him some useful cards. Like the Strength one attacking right now. He has a chance on passive of increasing his attack by either 200 or 300%. I forget exactly which. But if that goes off, you'll be doing massive damage for the turn. And secondary, the Dokkan release of Beerus. It's a Tech Beerus separate to this. Works similar to the Great Ape mechanics in the current game, where as the Great Apes have a small chance of transforming the character itself into a Great Ape, Beerus, just like Agility Whis over here, when you're low HP, he will transform for the turn, and while transformed, you'll be unable to die for that turn. You also get 3 free attacks on the enemy, depending on how much key you're given Beerus for the specific turn. You'll attack like as a normal health bar here. You see 3 characters attacking for the turn. You'll just see Beerus down there. Your HP will be flashing like a rainbow. It essentially means that you won't take damage, and when the enemy damages you, it'll turn gray, which negates all the damage you do, or they're doing to you, which is pretty damn cool for mechanic itself. So, back to the original point, this is exactly why I feel Whis maybe should get some love here and there and have like a maybe like a Dokkan Fest or some sort of showcase to maybe give him a card he might deserve. But now that I'm done ranting about irrelevant things, we'll go back here to Vegeta since we're almost on the final form finally. His third form here, he's if you've been watching it actually, he got stunned almost 3-4 times right. I don't think he's really been able to attack us at all. So, building up to his final form here, I guess he's saving his big guns till then. He wants to go with the bang though. The problem is he's strength, and I'm using 2 physical characters and 1 strength, and Beerus isn't linking with anybody this time around except for pretty much God Goku over here. So I'm going to try to push us into the last phase. Yeah, this seems best. Oh man, what am I even thinking? I got so ahead of myself with that tangent. I just said earlier he's stunned. And I just moved those characters 3 times around, spent 2 minutes thinking about it, and then used the damage reduction item while he was stunned, skipping his turn anyways. My lord, that's just further proof right there that only professionals such as myself could be regulated to do such in-depth and strategic guides. Only the true Dokkan players come to watch these videos, so... Oh, baby. Alright, we'll push Vegeta out of this phase and just pretend that never happened. No one will talk about it, so I should be fine. And jumping into the final phase. Vegeta now, about 5 bars of health. He's got the Ent as I mentioned in his first phase, so he's back to being purple. But I don't see him really doing anything to us. Gotenks here. It's his Dokkan form with Gotenks. So global players don't quite have him yet, but his whole function is to stop the enemy's ability to ult you, and he'll be attacking first, and we have a Dokkan mode going off, and this Bulma I'm doing to grant a heal also grants 25% attack for the turn. So, let's see how much damage we can regulate to our blue-haired friend. Oh, play the little fucking connect the dots game. And I'm curious because that Gotenks upgrade, that was just so great. He used to be such a great card. I'm just so happy he finally has the update this dude deserved because he is a one-of-a-kind card. It's kind of glad to have him back on the team. 275,000, not too bad. Vegeta Blue here will once again show off just how amazingly overpowered of a card he is. 1 attack brings him down to 1 bar of health. 2 additional attacks brings down that 2nd bar of health. He gets hit, and now he'll probably counter him twice. Oh my goodness. You gotta love it. Dokkan in balance. Beerus there will blast him, but he wasn't linking with the new one, so there was really no extra damage to be shown off there. We got Vegeta Blue coming in again, and you know what? I wonder if I got Goku to ult. I want to see, even though it's been years, I want to see if this guy can still do any relevant damage. And Whis, he'll go last as well, because while they do as they do link for specialty links between themselves, they don't link for the special link needed for this fight. So nothing here is going to really matter. Oh wow, Vegeta might finish this himself before he gets a turn. And counters for critical, and counters and wins the fight. But there you have it. That's exactly it. It may seem easy, or it may seem like a little less difficult because Vegeta Blue just took care of Vegeta like with no problem, but this fight from the outset is just not difficult. I used almost specifically units that aren't used anywhere anymore, except barring maybe Gotenks and Vegeta Blue. So you're free to mix and match just any unit you really want to give this a try. You know, It's fun too. Like events like this, they don't always have to be like maximum super ultra difficulty. Sometimes it's more fun just to beat on people with units you have, just to see what they truly can do. And if you're looking for a Dokkan fight like that, Vegeto's your best bet. What I'm doing on screen right here is I got a mission for completing, and I'm sure what the heck I did. There's a bunch of new stuff here, and I think this is all relevant to that 777 stuff released today. But until next time, everybody, you all have a good day and take it easy.